Hi, I'm Paris McMurray, a student at Ottawa Hills High School in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I never really thought much about my kidneys until they asked me to help make this video. But now I can truly say that they are important to me as well as to you.
Not many people, let alone people our age, truly think about their kidneys very often. But like Paris, since I've started working on this project, I have a better appreciation for how important it is for me to do everything I can to make sure they stay in shape. Hi, I'm Marisol from Central High School in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
You know who else thinks kidneys deserve more attention? The Michigan Department of Community Health. The Michigan Department of Community Health does a lot to promote health in Michigan. One of their major projects is to provide support for the National Kidneys Foundation's KIC program, kids interested in the care of their kidneys.
There are some simple things that you can do when you are young to make it possible to live a long, happy, and full life. Of all the people that develop kidney disease, 3 out of 4 of these people have either diabetes or high blood pressure, which is also called hypertension. In many cases, we can prevent diabetes and high blood pressure by making healthful food choices and being physically active.
Kidneys do a lot of things other than just getting rid of water, which is what most people perceive they do. Kidneys are responsible for preventing anemia in children and adults with chronic kidney failure or with end-stage renal disease. Kidneys are responsible for filtration of the waste products of the body. They also replace hormones, the hormones that regulate blood pressure, that regulate growth, that prevent bone disease, and also for children, they are very important for both sexual maturation as well as height maturation over age. So what the thought process is, what kidneys do for children and for adults is just get rid of salt and water. They're very responsible for overall quality of life. They improve cardiac function because of blood pressure control. They improve liver function and pancreatic function because of interplay between these organs. So the kidneys are part of a larger part of the body that helps for overall health of the child.
Now that we know more about what they do, let's find out what can happen when your kidneys aren't working right.
I was 17 years old when I started having symptoms of kidney disease. One of these symptoms were that my ankles and feet were swollen. I was taken to the emergency room where the doctors found out that I had protein in my urine and that my kidneys were affected. A few months later, I was diagnosed with an inherited disorder through a biopsy. After a few years on anti-rejection drugs, my kidneys failed and I began hemodialysis when I was 22 years old. I was on dialysis for over 2 years until I finally received a kidney transplant. Being young with kidney disease has been hard, but not impossible to deal with. I was able to socialize, finish college, and get married. Because of the transplant, I have enough energy to work full-time and return to normal activities. And I like to know that when I tell my story, I encourage other people to agree to organ donation. Hemodialysis can be done at home if there is a partner, a parent, or a spouse who is willing to be trained and who is available to perform the procedure. Usually it's done at a dialysis facility operated by a healthcare provider, either in a hospital or a separate building. In hemodialysis, the patient's blood is circulated through the machine, which contains an artificial kidney. The artificial kidney filters the toxins and extra fluid out of the blood. While the blood is being pumped through the filter, fluid and medicines can also be added. The actual process of hemodialysis usually takes between 3 and 4 hours to complete. Travel to the facility and then back home can add a lot of time, depending on where you live and if you have to do hemodialysis 3 times a week.
Another form of dialysis is called peritoneal dialysis. In peritoneal dialysis, a catheter or a plastic tube is inserted through the abdominal wall through the peritoneum, which is the sac that surrounds your internal organs, including your kidneys. The catheter is then sewn laterally across your abdomen so that only the short part is sticking out. At the end of this catheter, there's a cap. To do peritoneal dialysis, you remove that cap and you remove the cap from the bag of solution, put them together, and run the solution by gravity into your abdomen. At that point, you can disconnect and you go on about your business or your day for approximately 4 to 5 hours. At the end of that period of time, you hook up a new bag set to your catheter and take the empty bag, drop it on the floor, open the clamp, and drain the contents of your abdomen out. That is a solution of salt and glucose that pulls out all of the toxins and the poisons that hemodialysis pulls out. It also pulls out the extra fluid that the person has accumulated. This whole process takes about 20 to 30 minutes, and it's called an exchange. You must do approximately 4 to 5 exchanges every day of the week. The other type of peritoneal dialysis is called CCPD, or continuous cycling peritoneal dialysis. It uses the same catheter that the person used in CAPD. The only difference is it is done at night while the person sleeps. Multiple bags of the same dialysis solution are fed through the person's abdomen, pumped in and out by a machine. This machine is called a cycler. After 8 to 9 hours every night, the person then unhooks and goes about their business during the day. Advantages of peritoneal dialysis are many. Freedom to travel, freedom of the diet, freedom of the fluid restriction.
Chronic kidney disease, or the new terminology called CKD, is becoming more and more common both in adult and pediatrics. The incidence rates of increasing amount of CKD in both the adult and pediatric population is directly related to lifestyles and other complications, including hypertension and diabetes. Hypertension and diabetes are becoming so common in both pediatric and adults, mostly related to dietary intake, obesity, as well as sedentary lifestyle. Therefore, we prefer not to dialyze, not to transplant, but to prevent kidney disease. Therefore, ensuring that your blood pressure is normal, ensuring that your activity level is appropriate without gaining excessive weight, ensuring that you don't have diabetes, following your physician's orders and recommendations how to prevent chronic kidney disease is a much smarter way as opposed to worrying about dialysis or transplantation. Therefore, if the best way to prevent long-term kidney disease is following physicians' recommendations on diet, activity, avoiding risk factors for hypertension, avoiding risk factors for diabetes, and also to maintain a reasonable activity.
It was hard to see Leticia during this time. She was always tired. She never wanted to go to school. We didn't know what was going on with her. We both would get frustrated and angry at times. And it was a difficult time for us.
When I finally went to the doctor, they discovered that I had too much protein in my urine, and they first thought that it could be lupus, so they started giving me medications and treating me for lupus for 3 years until my kidneys completely failed. When my kidneys completely failed, they stopped treating me for lupus, and that's when I started the hemodialysis. When I went on dialysis, my family members and friends, about 100 of them, all started getting tested to see if they would be compatible donors. I was very lucky in finding that my mother and my father and my older brother had all compatible tissues. I had a lot of problems on dialysis. I kept getting infections. They had to go and keep putting in new dialysis access points. As soon as I was healthy enough, we decided to go ahead and go for the transplant. My mother and I were very excited and very nervous to be off dialysis and get back to a normal life. Right after the transplant, I was completely surprised at how good I felt. It's amazing. I forgot what it felt like to feel good and healthy. I felt a little guilty because my mom didn't bounce back quite as quickly as I did. Right after surgery, I was up and bouncing around and really happy and excited.
It was great to see Leticia bouncing around the way she was with so much energy.
I can't tell you how grateful I am for my mom for giving me the kidney and for all my friends and family that have been so supportive through all the rough times that we've had. I've had my kidney for about a year now, and my life has been so much better, and I haven't had any problems or any complications. During the time I was on dialysis, I had to get up very early at 7 o'clock in the morning and go to the dialysis center. I missed a lot of school because I was sick and in the dialysis, and at one point I was taking 21 pills a day, which made me gain weight and gave me really bad acne. During this period of time, my friends were great. They were very supportive, but you could tell they would treat me a little different, like I was fragile. I'm very happy now. I'm able to go swimming and do all kinds of things that I wasn't able to do while on dialysis, like go on vacation. My life has turned around because of everything my mom and all of my family have done for me. Most kidney diseases you can do something about.